Hi, this is Brandon Slade from thirstgym.com. Today we're talking about exercises called the front squat versus bands. This is a great way to develop some lower body strength and power. We're going to use the front squat position, which is relatively low back friendly. Feels relatively good as long as you get some shoulder mobility or you like the front squat just in general. And the bands are going to help us develop that speed and power like we mentioned. But it's also just a good variation in terms of building upper back and ab strength as well. So I really like this option and this exercise for my athletes that I work with. We can be in a good quality position. I don't have to overstress them getting pitched forward in an exercise. And like I said, we can develop that speed and power with the bands. Now, the bands, obviously, they have more stretch from the bottom, so that load is going to be realized and felt by the athlete at the top. As we go down, that's going to be less. However, the bands are constantly pulling down towards the ground. Since they're pulling us down, we get what's called overspeed eccentrics. Tendons react to that, and so as they get stretched, the muscles get stretched, glutes, hamstrings, quads. As we go down, because of the contractile properties, it wants to help us come back up even faster. So this is awesome, like we said, in terms of building speed and power for athletes. And I think you'll find that your athletes can see some good progress from this. You have to be a power lifter. This is also a great way to get some quality strength and power work in, not from the back squat. So if you're really limited on your equipment and you're trying to find some variations to build your squat, this is a good variation with the front load option and the bands as well. In terms of the bands, we just run part of the band through itself up here to the top. We've got a video on our YouTube channel of how to set up bands for the squat. It's the exact same thing. You're just going to want to set it up and use the front squat option. Now, when it comes to selecting the proper band tension, you're ideally going to want something that's 20 to 25% of your 1 rep max for that variation. So if we take the front squat, for example, and we'll say I'm a 300-pound front squatter, then I want about 60 pounds of band tension, which would be about 20%, give or take. So these bands are probably pretty close to that. I might be able to add like a micro mini band on it to make it just a little bit tougher, but this is probably where I would start, at least with a training cycle. Now, when it comes to the front squat position, whether you use a front rack or a cross position is going to be depending upon what you need the exercise for. If you're worried about catching cleans and being and landing in a good quality athletic position, that needs to be happen, for you to be successful in the weight room, then I would use the front rack position. If that's not important to your endeavors or whatever, let's say you're a power lifter, some baseball athletes I like to have in this cross position because how much time they spend overhead, I don't want to really crank on their shoulders, on their lats any more than I need to, then I'm okay with a cross position because, again, we're after the lower body piece, not necessarily catching any cleans. So just make sure you understand the context is important in terms of what you're going to use there. Now, I'm going to demonstrate today in the cross position, but that front rack position would be here, and then we would stand up with the weight. Okay? So to show you the exercise, I got the bar rolled forward. The bands are going to try to pull you back just a little bit because I've got them on my band pegs. Just make sure you don't have them super far back that it flings you backwards. Okay, stand up, own the weight, take good control of it as you step back just for safety purposes. So I'm going to cross here, keep my elbows up good and high, unrack, walk out here, own the position, let it kind of feel good. Now take a solid breath in, go down and come back up. Then rack it. Okay, so pretty smooth there. Now, how would you use this exercise in your training program? So if you're a conjugate-based person and you like the 1 rep max stuff, you're trying to just build some general strength, this is a good exercise for that. You can do 1, 2, 3 rep maxes, heavy sets of 2 and 3. You can even do heavy sets of 5 as you ease athletes into the exercise. The other option would be to use this to build your front squat in general. So let's say you're trying to improve your front squat for whatever reason in terms of working on catching your cleans or just build some good quality lower body strength in an athletic-based position, which I think would be great. This might be a great supplemental exercise for your front squat in terms of teaching the athlete to continue to drive up. I'm sure as you see a lot of catches and cleans, when they get down here, they come up and then they kind of get that pop. This would be able to work on that acceleration point of coming out of the bottom of the clean as well, or just the bottom of the front squat in general. The other option would be for speed work or dynamic effort work. So with the bands, we would basically perform multiple sets of 2 to 3 reps, going as fast as we possibly can, both down and up, obviously under control on the way down. We don't want our butt to be on the floor, but we're going to go down and up explosively as possible, applying as much force as we can up into the bar and into the weight. When you're doing that, you're going to want about 40 to 55% of your 1 rep max on the bar. So like I said, if I was that 300-pound front squatter, the most I would have on the bar would be 150 pounds, and my 40% would be 120 pounds. So not about the weight, it's about the speed of the barbell and applying the intent, because you also got to remember, you have the tensions of the band as well. So it's more than just the weight that's on the bar. And then you would perform that for 8 to 12 sets of 2 to 3 reps, over and over and over with relatively short bursts, and then you're going to develop some good quality speed and power from it as well. So that's the front squat versus bands. The setup and stuff is just like the squat. We're just going to change the position that we're in terms of our hands, and then obviously you got to run your training maxes off of the front squat, not the back squat. So if you got any questions about this exercise, please feel free to leave them in the comment section. Thanks. Have a great day.